pitch. Ashby, Cranford, Wisdom, Diggins, and Kazuski in that lineup for Coach Dan Fitzgerald. That starting 9 will be taking on Ryan Witherspoon, a sophomore, pitching in his 16th game, 10th start of the season, 7-3, 4.24 ERA, out of Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, junior college transfer, he and his brother, and it's a power arm. He started the year in the bullpen, kind of a high leverage guy at the end of games, and you get to a point, if you're Oklahoma, where it's just too good to wait to pitch him. And so the fastball, an average fastball of 95.2, mid-80s slider, it's really good stuff on the front end.
Kyson Witherspoon, pardon me, I misspoke. On the bump for the Sooners. 35-18 on the season, 23-7 in the Big 12. And there's the skipper himself, Skip Johnson, the Big 12 Coach of the Year, and rightfully so. As wonderful a season as he has had, Sooners just continue to play very good baseball in the Big 12, and just across the board, they will be hosting a regional, I would imagine. I don't want to speak out of turn. I don't want to get too excited, but the odds are.
Yeah, they're hosting a regional for sure. The question is, are they hosting 2 weekends?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Glad you could join us for some action here at Globe Life Field, home of the Texas Rangers. Roof is closed. The sun is out outside, but always a beautiful 72 degrees indoors. Artificial surface, kind of nooks and cranny throughout this ballpark. And as the day progresses, you will get, because of all the glass in this building, along the roof and on the sides of the building, you'll get some ribbons of sunshine that will cut through and will come into play a little bit. We should be all right here for game 2 of the 4 this afternoon here at Globe Life Field. John Nett ready to lead things off. He's the center fielder. .357 average, 6 home runs, and 35 runs batted in. The first one is in there for a strike. Native of Appleton, Wisconsin. KU 30-21 on the year. As Nett falls behind at 0-2. 15-15 in the Big 12. That hit him on an 0-2 pitch. The last thing you want to do is put a base runner on that way.
You know, it's interesting. You hate the leadoff guy getting on by hit by pitch 0-2, but I will say they're trying to throw fastball in here, Victor, and I don't like that. I love that. I think if you want to really spook the hitters in the other dugout, establish fastball in with 2 strikes and get them thinking about it, especially if you're a hard thrower like Witherspoon.
Hartle looks at a strike. Junior hitting .302 this year. 11 home runs, 35 runs batted in. Also chipped in with 11 doubles. Back-to-back hitters, no balls, 2 strikes. KU will not run a whole lot, just 24 stolen bases on the season. First meeting of the year between these two teams. 0-2 down goes Hartle. Good old country hardball right there. 96, one away.
I want to tell you, Victor, that Witherspoon is jacked up, and you know there's adrenaline here, but that's who he is. I mean, it's a really good arm with a big fastball.
Here you go, Cody. Here you go, Cody.
Cody Shojinaga, the third baseman. Takes it tight. Sophomore. Had a very impressive follow-up season. It's a fantastic freshman year. At .329 this year. 18 doubles, 5 home runs. Now it almost gets away at first. As play by Snyder.
Two unbelievable uniforms in this game. Oklahoma with those tops and the cream pants, and then KU with the baby blues. Come on now, Victor. I actually told them, I said, Victor Rojas is here today. Kansas and Oklahoma, I need your best units. Like, give me the A game.
They brought out the varsity. There is absolutely no doubt. 1-0. That is lifted out to shallow left field. Pettis comes running in. He'll make the catch for out number 2. Pettis yesterday, by the way, if you haven't had a chance to see it, made an unbelievable diving catch early in the game. Going back and to his right. Take a look at the defense for the Sooners. Pettis, Spikerman, and Walk in the outfield from left to right. McKenzie, Willits, Nicholas, and Snyder from third to first. Butler behind the dish.
Yeah, you hit it in the air against Oklahoma. Good luck with that. It's 3 true blue center fielders in the outfield.
So 2 outs and a man at first. Jake English steps in. He will take just off the plate.
Better get your bat started today. Witherspoon is bringing the ruckus.
Believe it. English hitting .318 on the year, 13 home runs, 47 runs batted in.
It's not supposed to make sense. Okay. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about it.
Net led off the game, getting hit by a pitch on an 0-2 count. Still at first. That's in there for a strike.
You know, it's interesting. If you're seeing Oklahoma for the first time and you're wondering, how is this team going to be a top 8 national seed, or what's that about? Well, for instance, Kyson Witherspoon throwing 97 with an 86-mile-an-hour slider. This is your game 2 starter.
Got him swinging. Hit by pitch. A strikeout. Fly ball to left and a strikeout. We're to the bottom of the first. No score. Ackerman, Willits, Carmichael in the top third. Snyder, McKenzie, Nicholas in the middle third. Pettis, Butler, and Walk in the bottom third of the order for the Oklahoma Sooners. John Spikerman, fun player to watch. Junior out of Montgomery, Texas. Talk about him in just a second. That lineup for Skip Johnson taking on the senior. Reese Dutton, 15th start of the year, 7-4 with a 3.59 ERA.
High impact transfer. He's been awesome. You know, came from USC Upstate, was a junior college guy, so huge pickup for Kansas, and he has logged a ton of innings. Now, it's unique because it's a ton of sliders. 54% of the pitches he will throw will be the slider. He will throw it more than his fastball, protect that heater with the break and stuff. So, a unique style, but a veteran out collector.
You would think that a guy that throws that many sliders could establish it on both sides of the plate, kind of keep guys honest a little bit.
Yeah, for sure, a slider for a strike and a chase slider.
Right.
That definitely will be part of the arsenal.
Spikerman leading things off, center fielder. What a year the juniors had. 402 batting average, 10 doubles, 3 triples, 3 home runs, 29 runs batted in. Shojanaga in at third base. Rest of the defense for KU straight up. That first one's outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Back up the middle. It's a leadoff single. That is a short, quick, compact swing as we take a look at the defense for KU. Before Jackson Willits comes to the plate. Kazuski in left, net at center. Wisdom in right. Shojanaga, Cranford on the left side of the infield. Diggins and Hartle on the right side with English behind the dish. Willits, the freshman shortstop. Spikerman bluffing at first base, stays there. Willits takes a strike. Jackson 262 with 8 home runs, 34 RBIs.
Jackson Reggie's son, obviously, and his younger brother Eli in high school right now has first-round pick written all over him in the upcoming drafts. He's a really talented kid, Eli Willits.
Counted in. 1 ball, 1 strike. So if you're a former big leaguer, live in Oklahoma, because your kids will ultimately turn out to be first-round picks, right? Holidays, the Willits.
Right. Moved to Oklahoma. I think it's very clear.
There's Reggie. Great guy. Long-time Angel. That one gets away from Hartle. Spikerman will take second base.
Threat of the stolen base turning into 90 feet right here. You know, it's interesting. Oklahoma's got this reputation of being a team that runs a ton. They've run less this year, but it's just as effective because people are anxious about it.
Skip arguing about whether or not there was a step-off throw-over where you get 2 bases on it, the ball getting out of play.
Yeah, 1 from the mound, 2 from the field, right? Isn't that what they taught us in Little League?
Yeah. Off the plate, 2-1. I'm not a rules expert, but would stepping off not put you on the field? He didn't step off there. I'm just curious if that was the question.
It's a good question. Yeah, I would think stepping off, like it's how, I think how deliberate the step off would matter.
Willits, half-hearted swing, rolls one over to short. Scooped up by Cranford. Over to Hartle. There's the first down. Moving to third is Spikerman. So man over in scoring position at third base, just 90 feet away for Easton Carmichael. Carmichael, the DH, sophomore out of Prosper, Texas, just north part of the Metroplex here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. 359 on the year, 6 home runs and 59 runs batted in. He shoots one down the right field line, but slicing foul. Carmichael with 17 doubles and 4 triples. .386 average with men in scoring position this year. Missed it. Not by much. One ball and strike.
Even as a ball, that's a great pitch. If you're a guy that wants to live off your slider, you better run that fastball in there every now and again just to keep people honest.
One and two.
It's interesting. Dutton's thrown a lot of fastballs in the first inning. I wonder if part of that is just to create a little doubt in that scouting report that he knows is out there. Everyone's got synergy and those types of databases. Not lost on anyone that he's throwing 54% slider.
Fouled off to the right, so the count remains at the ball and 2 strikes. Mentioned a transfer from USC Upstate. All Big South first team last year, was 10-3 with a 3.29 ERA. Spent 1 year at USC Upstate, a couple of seasons at Heartland Community College before that. This one's skied to right. Should be deep enough to score Spikerman. OU has a 1-0 lead here in the first. Carmichael with his 60th RBI.
Good offense right there. Line drive up the middle, running game creates 90 feet. Productive outs, here we go.
Saw a little bit of that in game one with TCU early. TCU defeating Kansas State 9-4, knocking the Wildcats out. Michael Snyder, first baseman, takes down and away. Senior out of Woodland Hills, California. 354 this year with 10 home runs, 53 driven home. Big swing and a miss, 1-1. So OU striking first with the 1-0 lead. They're 29-5 when scoring first this year.
Heard that's good.
That'll play. 2-1. Three balls, one strike. Starting to see a little bit more of the slider.
Yep. Trying to find it right now, trying to land it better.
Full boat. That's a tough thing about a pitcher like this where you're trying to find the slider. You don't have a whole lot of wiggle room.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you could see a crooked number be put up on you very quickly. 3-2 to got him. Good pitch, good location. And he limits the damage to just a run. But OU strikes for a run. They take the early lead as we head to the second.
In your own place, but the strength of schedule is amazing. I think for Oklahoma, the key is this. You won the Big 12 by 3 games. You won 23-7 in this league. That's a top 8 resume unless your metrics are just way off the mark. For Oklahoma, they're not in the top 8 metrically, but they're close enough to support their domination of the Big 12. To me, they've got to be a top 8 seed.
Ashby, Cranford, and Wisdom for KU here in their half of the second. Witherspoon had a couple of strikeouts and a hit batter in the first. That is pulled down the right field line, and that is a fair ball. Ashby's on his way to second. 9th double of the year. He's in scoring position to start the second inning. That ball was lasered into the corner.
Hitters hit. Lenny Ashby. One of those short, powerful guys. A lot of strength in that swing. Very small strike zone. Don't let Lenny Ashby get going. He's a really accomplished hitter at New Mexico. I'm actually surprised that it's not higher than 271, but he could get on a heater here.
I know I do this all the time as far as comping guys. The way they look, feel, swing the bat, throw the ball. I see Pablo Sandoval with that swing.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's a good comp. I had like a left-handed Kirby Puckett, but Sandoval's way better.
The Panda. Collier Cranford, the shortstop. Behind the count at 0-1.
Pablo Sandoval was not big on walking, right? Wasn't he a swinger?
It's overrated. Walks are overrated.
Yeah, he was putting the ball in play.
Yes, he did. No balls, 2 strikes. Well, my dad's from the islands. And you know what they say? You can't walk your way off the island. You got to swing your way off of it.
That's right. Love that mentality.
0-2, back up from the middle. Backhanded at second base by Nicholas. Just did get him by a step, 1 down. Ashby advancing to third.
This is not an easy play to glove, but watch the arm strength on Nicholas when he gets to the top of this. Just drives this ball downhill. it's going to be really interesting to see where Nicholas plays in pro ball. He's kind of an offensive second baseman, but he shows some real arm strength there.
Almost looked like the ball redirected or slowed down. I don't know if it's because of the side of the mound or if Witherspoon got a glove on it. But either way, it benefits Oklahoma in that the ball stays on the infield.
Mm-hmm. Boy, good on KU. They've made some quick adjustments to Witherspoon, haven't they?
Mm-hmm. Lifted out toward left. Not very deep. Going out is Willits. Pettis coming in. Takes charge. Drops the ball. 1-1 game on the mistake by Kendall Pettis. Wisdom stays at first.
I wonder if Pettis got a late break on this. He's playing awfully deep for a left-handed hitter. I think he probably spent a lot of his capital there trying to get Willits out of the area and just overran it.
Chase Diggins looks at a strike. Error on Pettis, no RBI. Diggins falls behind here, 0-2.
If there's one thing, Victor, on Oklahoma, they're fielding 970. You know, like a lot of times you get to the end of the year, the teams in Omaha, there's a lot of people field 980. And I know fielding percentage is not a perfect stat, but that 970 for OU, that's a surprising number for me, given how athletic they are on defense.
Mm-hmm. Down goes Diggins, one away. Or pardon me, 2 down.
Witherspoon apparently has had enough of the hard contact and just going ahead and take matters into his own hands.
Catch that fly ball, get the strikeout, and you're out of this with no runs across.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Kozuski, the left fielder, number 9 hitter, comes in, junior. 310 batting average. 4 doubles, 17 runs batted in. 1-1 game, we're in the second. Now, if you're Skip Johnson, how are you managing this game from a pitcher's perspective? Just getting guys ready for next weekend?
For sure. Yeah, I mean, Skip, it's their last year in the Big 12, and Skip has spent a lot of his career in this conference, so I'm sure, it was a big deal for Oklahoma to win the last Big 12 regular season title. I'm sure he'd love to back that up with a tournament, but, hey, you're not getting your pitching out of whack when you know you're hosting a regional and probably are hosting a super.
3 balls, 1 strike. OU and Texas joining the SEC. Texas got knocked out of this tournament yesterday. Ball 4. 2 on with 2 outs. First free pass issued by Witherspoon.
This inning has, given how dominant he was in the first inning, this inning has been a surprise for Witherspoon. Now, I'm really curious to see what second time through the order looks like. How hot does the fastball play with a second look for each hitter?
That was behind in the count at 0-2 in the first inning before getting hit by a fastball in. No official AB for him.
That's right. You gotta. It's one of those little weird things in baseball now with the disengagements. Is when you pick, you have to throw. Don't have to unless you want to spend a disengagement.
2 balls and no strikes. Witherspoon taking the page out of West Virginia's book.
They love
moves at second.
Oh my gosh. They buy them in bulk in Morgantown.
Yes, they do. 2-0. 2-1. Yeah, KU making Witherspoon work here in the second.
Yeah, and he's kind of lost his feel temporarily here. I think one more base runner and Skip Johnson's probably headed to the mound to give Witherspoon a reset.
That's the tough part about this game is that, look, everyone's competitive. You want to do everything you can offensively from a pitching perspective, win games, but Sooners are playing for something a little bit bigger. KU, they need W's.
That's right.
They need to win this thing out.
Yeah, KU is chasing the NCAA tournament. Oklahoma is positioning themselves in the NCAA tournament.
Witherspoon about to throw his 20th pitch this inning. Tied at 1. And he walked him. Bases loaded. Back-to-back walk loads him up for 2 outs. Skip Johnson coming out. And with Ben Hartle coming to the plate, go back on Tuesday. What this young man did, key play with the long ball.
Yeah, really tight game, and you just felt like the park was going to play super big, and Hartle is so strong. Took on every part of the park. Hard to get one out to center field. That's 410 plus.
Long conversation on the mound. And it's funny how this inning is played out, because Ashby led off the frame, hitting a missile into the right field corner. Cranford grounded out. Man at third, 1 out. A fly ball that should have been caught in shallow left field. Would have been out number 2. Diggins with the strikeout would have been out number 3 and no damage. Instead, that ball dropped. Diggins did strike out. A walk and a walk, and here we are with the bases loaded. The extra pitches that are thrown. Now Hartle at the plate. Wisdom at third. Kazuski at second. Net at first.
Seems like that Witherspoon slider is the pitch he's going to lean on when in a pickle.
That is pulled toward third base. A little bit of a bobble and no play at all. KU takes a 2-1 lead. The ball got on Anthony McKenzie very quickly, but seemed to be a routine play. I think he maybe peeked up a little bit trying to find the baseball.
Well, as good as Oklahoma is, a 5-out inning is going to be a problem no matter how good you are and who you're playing. And that is what Oklahoma has given Kansas here in the second.
Chojinaga hit a fly ball to left field in his first inning at bat. Oh, 1 from Witherspoon. Looks like that bottom hand kind of came off the swing, or off the bat, I should say, on the swing. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded. 2-1 KU. Chojinaga hits one toward short. Willits, a little bit of a bobble. His plays to first. The throw pulls the first baseman Snyder off. It's 3-1. Third error of the inning for Oklahoma.
contact matters. You give yourself a chance. This is another routine ground ball, and
English, the 9th man to step to the plate here in the second. He struck out in the first. One on one. Good fastball on the outside part of the plate.
I mean, that is just, it's 96, 97 every pitch, that fastball. Holding the velo early in this game for sure.
And a fairly effortless velocity. Two one now. Lifted on the right side. Snyder into foul territory in front of the KU dugout, makes the catch for the third out. The KU strikes for 3, helped out courtesy of 3 errors by the Sooners. Jayhawks on top. 1 hit, 3 errors by OU, and an extra 19 pitches thrown by Witherspoon, courtesy of the miscues by the Sooners. McKenzie, Nicholas, and Pettis for Oklahoma here in their half of the second. Reese Dutton gave up a run on a hit. Had a strikeout in the first. This one's fouled back, 1-1. McKenzie, a senior out of Houston, Texas. 303 average, 7 home runs, 44 runs batted in. He'll get things started with a single to right.
You would think that the left-handed hitters for Oklahoma will handle Dutton's slider. Of course, Oklahoma with 4 switch hitters in their lineup. Really an incredible number for college baseball.
And that's where you think of a guy like this, throws a lot of sliders, that the development of a changeup or something off speed to kind of keep hitters off balance, especially left-handed batters off balance, or thinking about something else as opposed to just not sitting on something that's spinning toward their bat. One ball, 1 strike on Jackson Nicholas.
In fairness to Dutton, like, his slider is unique. It's not your standard fair slider. It does feel like it's got that sweeper element to it that's so popular now. That said, I mean, there's a long tradition of guys that have been very successful in college baseball that have pitched off of a breaking ball.
McKenzie over at first, getting a big lead. 5 for 5 in the stolen base category this year. Nicholas drives one out toward right center field. Hit well. Tracking out there is Net at the wall. And that is brought back by Net. What a terrific play by the KU center fielder. 1 down.
Hello, John Net. I mean, he had to sync himself up perfectly here to rob this. Nicholas almost with another home run here at Globe Life. Watch this perfect timing of the leap. Great feel for where he was on the field. That's fun. That's right.
And the exhale.
That's right.
Tip of the cap and exhale.
How did we go from it was almost 3-1 to there's 1 down? How'd that happen? Well done, John Net.
Kendall Pettis, the left fielder. Senior, 260 average this year. 6 doubles, a couple of triples, 3 home runs, 32 runs batted in. Ground ball left side. That'll sneak through for a base hit, even though it was gloved by the shortstop Cranford. Pettis is on board, and McKenzie advances to second. Even if Shojinaga comes up with it, I don't think he has a play.
Yep. Ball on the ground. Oklahoma's so fast and athletic that you're right, there's no gimmies.
Scott Mudler, the catcher, takes upstairs. The 8-hole hitter, 268 for the junior this year. 6 doubles, 3 home runs, and 24 runs batted in. He has McKenzie at second, Pettis at first. 3-1 KU in the second. Kansas defensively pretty much straight up. Cranford trying to keep McKenzie close to the bag at second. He's the shortstop. 1-2. Excuse me, swing. Three-one game here in the second. And that base hit by Pettis is the first hit by either team with a man in scoring position. 1-2 now. Flips this one foul and out of play.
That's a nice play. While holding his phone, I think, too. Like, that's a modern play right there.
Yeah, but what's his battery percentage at?
Yeah, that's a good point. I bet you it's 15.
Lined into center field. McKenzie's going to be waved around. Headed to third is Pettis. It's a 3-2 game. Mudler with his 25th RBI of the season.
I love the approach versus the slider by OU. They're just hammering line drives in the middle of the field. And Mudler stay on the baseball here. And of course, you look up and Kendall Pettis is at third. Going first to third is a trademark of this OU offense.
Still one out. Jason Walk, the right fielder at the plate. Freshman from Ackworth, Georgia. 276 on the season. 3 home runs, 17 runs batted in.
Doug got a fastball, felt like a ball or two off for a strike and tried to go right back to that spot.
OU with 4 hits now. That one is in there. Called strike 3, got him on the outside part of the plate. 2 down. It
is interesting with Dunton's slider. it's not the depth that you're worried about, it's the horizontal action on it. I mean, that pitch doesn't become a strike until the absolute end of it. Maybe a little generous.
I don't believe it's still a strike.
You're still waiting?
Yeah, I'm still waiting for it to hit the corner.
Yeah, Josh Shepis is definitely, like, he'll give you a little bit on the outer half.
2 outs now. Spikerman at the plate. Singleton scored the first.
That's it. I tell you, in college baseball, Victor, I don't hate that. Get the guys, get the hitters swinging, and in an era where it's so offensive, if you want to give the pitcher a ball or two away, I'm okay with that. As long as we're going to do it all game.
Well, that's all you can ask for is the consistency.
Yep.
One. This one bounced toward first. That is a fair ball. And now number 3 is recorded. Oklahoma strikes for a run. We're through 2. KU on top 3-2. OU got one of those runs back in the bottom of the frame, and that's where we stand now. 3-2 as we start the third. A lot of action for 2 innings.
Yeah, it is. I think we're getting the full Oklahoma experience. I mean, we're seeing how good they can be on the mound. We're seeing how dynamic they can be offensively. And, you know, again, Oklahoma hasn't been perfect this year. No one has. They've got 18 losses, and defense has been the one little bugaboo for them.
Ashby, Cranford, and Wisdom for KU. Witherspoon 3 strikeouts. 1 hit, 2 walks. Ashby got the party started in the first inning. Or in the second inning, I should say. Leading things off with a double. 9th of the year.
But there are moments, Victor, where Witherspoon does look like a reliever. Kind of sprays it, throws enough strikes, but it's not great command. It's certainly ferocious stuff.
Two balls, 1 strike.
It just, to me, if you're a starter, and Witherspoon's done fine as starter, right? Clearly that ship has sailed. He's earned that right. To me, if you're a starter, though, you got to have a lot of competitive pitches. Like, you can't be spraying the ball.
Lifted out toward right center field. Having to come in on it is walked. The right fielder calls for it, makes the catch one away.
I tell you, that ball goes up and you see 3 position players going after it. Confidence is shaking a little bit. Yeah. You're like, all right, is this one getting caught?
And that ball was up there for a while, too. Collier Cranford, the shortstop. 0 for 1 with a ground ball to second base. Big hack and a foul ball back earlier this year. Redshirt senior. Hit for the cycle. Cleared a grand slam at 7 runs batted in. 3rd KU player to hit for the cycle in the last 30 years. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's fun when that stuff happens in baseball, like Danny Neary the other night for UCF. Guy who's not a home run hitter. 3 home runs in a big league ballpark. It's fun talking to him in the post game, asking him, what was your routine that day? What did you eat? And he said, I've been getting a lot of those questions.
Checked his swing.
He said, I'm going to have to jot that down, but you better believe we're running that back.
You have to.
Yes, you have to.
You absolutely have to. 2-1. Ground ball over to 3rd. Kinsey's got it. And a throw pulls Snyder off the base. 4th error of the game for OU. And that was about as routine a play as you will get.
Yeah, you wonder if now it's just getting a little mental for OU. I mean, this is as standard as it gets.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I think he laid back on that ball.
Yeah.
I think he waited, and all of a sudden, once he gloved it, realized Cranford's busting out of the box.
Yep. You know what's interesting is there's been part of this season where Snyder, who's at first base, played third base. He was an excellent third baseman at Washington, and McKenzie played first base. So it was interesting. You know, I thought it was unique to see them switched now. Now, certainly you can't argue with the results that Oklahoma's had, but
count on Ty Wisdom. Reached on the arrow by Pettis, so he's 0 for 1.
You know, Witherspoon hasn't been incredibly sharp, Victor, but I don't even know if it's fair to evaluate that. No. There's so many outs given away.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with the fact that he has thrown outs. They just haven't turned into outs.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the third, and he's collected 11 outs already. He just doesn't gotten credit for all of them.
Foul tipped into the mid. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And I would say a guy who's a power arm who can spray the ball a little bit, that's absolutely the worst guy to make errors for, because strike throwing is not perfectly ironed out yet.
Nice shot by Wisdom there to protect the at-bat. Borderline pitch. Quick throw to first.
You know, you just wonder about the mental part of the game right now. Just for us watching the game, you start to question if the next play is going to be made, let alone if you're on the field.
I was thinking that on just a throw to first base from Witherspoon on a pick.
Yeah, my eyes are starting to anticipate errors right now.
Well, maybe if you hadn't brought up the .970 fielding percentage and how that might play
That's right.
in the postseason.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
There goes Cranford. That one's fouled back. Collier heads back to first base. 3-2 count. 1 out. We're in the third. There goes Collier again. That pitch downstairs for ball 4. So 2 on with 1 out.
Skip Johnson's a big teacher of the mental game, and he is going to be working on his own mental game right now, where you've got a game, your team has walked 3, hit 1, 4 errors. But of course with Skip, you never know. Going to give you the poker face. He's dying inside, though, Victor. That's what I'm telling you.
Slow death.
That's right. Dying from the inside out.
Cranford at second, Wisdom at first. Chase Diggins, the batter. He struck out in the second.
Pitch. That was unique. Was that a changeup? Maybe the breaking ball has been like 85, 86. That maybe it was a cement mixer slider. Accidental.
Those typically go a long way.
That's right.
1-1. Lifted. Left side, Willits calling for it. Infield fly rule is called, 2 down.
I mean, the positive message for OU is this. You know, if you're Skip Johnson, you probably call up your team and say, hey, as far as run prevention goes, we literally can't play worse than this. And we're down 1. So can you guys please give me my team back? The team that went 23-7 in the Big 12. Where are you?
Kozuski takes inside. And to your point, to a certain extent, I don't want to crush Witherspoon, but because he was put into that situation. When you're not getting quick outs thereafter, you just get guys to continue to think about it on their heels a little bit. You get some long counts, long at-bats. It doesn't help the situation.
No. Yeah, you worry about the complementary nature of that when you're not playing good defense to guys start trying to pitch to swing and miss.
This one into center field, a base hit. Cranford being waved around. It's bobbled in center field. 4-2 KU, and going into second base is Wisdom with Cranford. Or Wisdom going to third, I should say. Kozuski taking second base. I'd imagine they're going to charge an error on that in center with Kozuski taking the extra base.
Wow. You know, I mean, it starts with Kozuski just leaning on this baseball into center field. Just a beautiful approach. God, Spikerman just picked his head up. Just got a little ahead of himself.
There's 5 errors in this game. Season high for OU. John Net the batter with runners at second and third, 2 outs. And still somehow just a 2-run deficit.
I mean, and they're playing great offense, Oklahoma. Like, you love how locked in the hitters are.
Yep. 1-2.
This is like the scene from Bull Durham where we're all on the mound and somebody has hexed the glove. I mean, there's a little mental element right now where it just, you can't unsee this stuff. He looks irritated.
Looking for the old live chicken or a bucket of chicken, whatever works. 1-2, fouled off. Candlesticks make a great gift.
That's, they sure do. Robert Wool, is that the actor?
Yes, sir.
Phenomenal.
Arliss.
What does that make us?
Lollygaggers. Great guy. Another 1-2 to Net. Another foul ball.
Boy, for Kyson Witherspoon, one thing I think needs to be mentioned, his body language has been outstanding.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing.
You wouldn't know. I mean, 5 errors behind you. He clearly doesn't have great feel for the baseball, and he just keeps getting after it.
Ground ball is short. Willits gloves it over to first and just does get Net by half a step. Wow. A run comes in. We're headed to the bottom of the third. 4-2 KU. Just have to try to figure something out to make some noise. They've got a tough task ahead. Chasing, as you said, Bruins.
Yeah. Not sure I've seen a camera of that stature in a baseball dugout.
Well, someone's documenting the chase.
Yeah,
that's
the
right. Thing. They want proof. Willits leading things off. 2, 3, and 4 for the Sooners in their half of the third. Jackson grounded out in the first. It's a big league camera.
I'm just very confused by that. Do we have a player who's a, has a hobby of big-time photography, or
multimedia major?
Or do we have a photographer who just happens to be in a baseball uniform today?
3 balls, 1 strike. Coach said I can't be on my phone.
That's right.
Might as well take the camera out. Full count.
He's spending a lot of time looking at the camera like I'm not feeling like it's fully expert operator right here.
Whatever you do, don't drop it.
No.
Payoff. Little dribbler. Right side. Tough play with Willits, but they make it look easy. 1 down.
I'm just going to say this, Victor. If you're OU, don't let Reese Dutton settle into this game. I mean, that's an uber veteran who knows how to collect outs, and I would not want to let him get comfortable if I was OU.
Easton Carmichael, the DH, sacrifice fly in the first inning. 60th RBI. That trying to establish that fastball in. 2 strikeouts, no walks, 4 hits allowed. Good pitch. Get on the hands. 2 away. Nobody on for Michael Snyder. It's 83 miles per hour on that pitch.
Ooh, that one had a little extra on it.
One now. Lifted, left side. Headed toward the seats and out of play. 1-2. Guys like Dudley don't throw high velocity, but just rely on breaking balls off speed, location. I think you got to go, especially in today's world, just go Gaylord Perry. Just start touching the hat, the back of the neck. You're not doing anything. Don't add anything. Just mess with it. Just see what's going on.
We had an era in college baseball where the pitch calling, because in pro ball, nobody picks pitches because if you get caught, they just start throwing at you.
Right.
In college baseball, you don't throw it, guys. So we had an era where everyone was just fake picking your pitches, which that was petty.
That is driven out toward deep left center field. This one is at the wall and hits the base of the wall. 2-out double for Michael Snyder. 23rd of the year. And ruins a little miscommunication, maybe. Looked like out in center field, but net maybe pulled up just a tick.
Yeah, ideally you'd like to have one outfielder just sell out, and the other outfielder is going to play the ricochet. And the ball was just in between them enough. Snyder really got into this. This is the slider too. So nobody really sells out, and both of them play for the ricochet. So easy for me to say from up here. It's not great communication right there. You'd love the center fielder to just sell out, and the left fielder's got your back on whatever ricochet you get.
And maybe Net just being generous, considering he's already had a spectacular play, robbing a home
That's
run.
Right.
And wants to share the wealth. Anthony McKenzie, 1 for 1 with a single and a run scored. Fouls this one back. Snyder needing to retie his shoelaces. Oh, 1 off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. We're at the bottom of the third, 4-2 game, and it feels like it's like a 15-13 battle.
Yeah. We have not, this is game 10 of the tournament. We've not had one single team go over double or go into double digits run scored wise. It feels like we're going to fix that right now. And in fairness, we're getting to the point of the tournament where pitching's going to get thinner from here. A lot of the main guys are either throwing or already have thrown.
One, 2. That's full foul. McKenzie yesterday blasted one. Definitely got all of it.
Switch hitter, how about that? It's a game of one swing because of the quality of the guys on the mound. You got Braden Davis versus Peyton Tolle. It's somebody running into a ball feels mandatory.
That was a fun game to watch. Two balls, 2 strikes. Done at 56 pitches so far. Just off the plate. Now with that pitch, you think, okay, fastball just misses off. You're going to go backdoor breaking ball. He tried it, missed. First walk issued by the right-hander.
You can see Reese Dutton's pretty frustrated. And, you know, he's a veteran, so he understands, like, the momentum of the game is all Kansas right now. But, you know, this inning getting extended, Oklahoma not really willing to let Kansas start to sneak away from them.
Jackson Nicholas rolling the first pitch foul. Nicholas 0 for 1, skied one to center field in his first AB.
It's interesting, Victor. I don't, as you observe this Oklahoma offense, I don't see like one player that really scares you. But boy, there's a bunch of tough outs in this lineup. And this is without Bryce Madron. Who, to be clear, they will get back. Just a little quad injury from the Cincinnati series, and because Oklahoma has, you know, no fear of not being in the NCAA tournament, they know they're in, pretty much know they're hosting. So, chance to get Madron healthy.
That is driven out towards center field. Nat moving back on it, shy of the track, hauls it in for out number 3. 3 complete here in Arlington, 4-2 Jayhawks.
Right there. They're not going to be a program that's going to like recruit against the powers that be. They've got to get raw materials and turn them into really good top of the Big 12 players, and that's what they've shown the ability to do right away in year 2.
That's it right there.
2, 3, and 4 for the Jayhawks. Hartle, Shojinaga, and English.
There's Vagley. That ain't easy. True freshman weekend starter in the Big 12. Okay, now we're showing off.
Yeah.
I keep selling it.
Now we know whose camera it is. You talk about freshman, weekend starter, Big 12. It's like Liam Peterson, freshman starter, SEC. It's the Alabama kid.
Zane Adams, I think it is.
I mean,
Yeah.
it just didn't happen
Yeah.
often.
Well, it's, like you're pitching in high school 12 months ago, where once every 6 weeks you run into a power 5 hitter, and then you're in a lineup full of them, and they're all 3 years older than you.
Yeah. Go get them.
Go get them. Yeah, fastball up as hard as Witherspoon throws. If he can get himself to 2 strikes and elevate the fastball, that's going to play.
That had some run in.
Mm-hmm.
Chojinaga's 0 for 2. Went around on the breaking ball.
If you're Kansas, you've got to extend this lead, Victor,
No doubt.
because Oklahoma looks irritated. They look like they look angry.
I was just going to say PO'd.
Yes.
Because they're hearing it in the dugout.
Yes. They're not in great spirits and looking to account for that.
0-2.
Oh.
Witherspoon's little chap. I think as he should be.
You don't see that move every day. I wasn't sure he was coming back to the mound. We're going to have to
I'm not pitching until you
fix yourself.
Reconsider that pitch, sir. Witherspoon strenuously objecting to that call.
Basically saying to Joshua Shepis, do you see what's going on here? Can you help someone out, please?
Full count. 0-2 to 3-2. Payoff now. That is ball 4. See how this inning plays out, because the interesting thing about that pitch that he didn't get called on the 0-2 can be the difference of that's a statement maker, exclamation point. Okay, now I've got it, let's go. It's 2 outs, and we're going to start rolling it. Or he's chapped, gets out of sorts, walk, and now to see if it snowballs on him.
Yeah, because this has been hard. There's been traffic. Even the first inning where he was so dominant, he still had to pitch out of the stretch the whole inning with the hit by pitch to start things.
Jake English 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop-up.
I'll tell you that, the good news for Kansas, that they're going to see a bunch of the OU bullpen. I mean, what's Witherspoon got? Another 30 pitches max?
He's at 80 right now. And at this point, what's the point of, unless you're trying to save arms in the bullpen, you're just trying to keep them sharp as much as possible, get them some work, get them out. 2-0.
And I think Skip Johnson has to make a decision too. Like, this game is starting to, I don't think this is to make a move, but I think Skip has seen enough that this may not be a very encouraging conversation, Victor. Stern might be a better way to describe it. Skip's not really a yeller, though. I'd be yelling, just to be clear.
I've known a few guys that weren't yellers that got the message across and were very emphatic about it.
Yeah. When Skip's covering his mouth, though, that's that tells you what you need to know. Oh. You're a parent, Victor. You ever have a conversation with your kids where you had to cover your mouth?
I don't cover my mouth.
Oh, okay, there you go.
I want to make sure that they not only hear it, but they can see
Feel
the
it?
words. Yeah, feel it.
Yeah. You want the words and the vibe to be received.
I typically am in full effect.
No, I like it.
Yeah.
That's right. It's good. Clear and direct communication.
3-0.
Just one of those games for OU right now where it just, I love the expression, they're playing uphill. But for Oklahoma, this game has been very uphill.
Really fighting themselves. 3-0. There's a strike 3-1. Action in the Sooners bullpen. Carter Campbell, first man up. Probably won't be the last. And there's ball 4. Back-to-back free passes with one out here in the 4th. That's when you get your skipper and pitching coach, the old windmill, telling your bullpen, let's go, crank. He's not lasting much longer. Or the old, I've seen enough. Lenny Ashby, the DH. 1 for 2 with a double and a fly ball to right. 3 infielders on the right side for Oklahoma. That's in the dirt.
It feels like this game has jumped on Kyson Witherspoon's back, Victor. Like, I think he's about toast, just mentally.
I honestly believe that non-strike 3 call on an 0-2 pitch, the way he turned around and walked off the mound, I thought it was a strike. But I think those are the type of moments for young men that they could just snowball on you. Now that said, you make one pitch, you get a double play,
Yeah. You know, the fear is Witherspoon throws so hard, and Ashby's the one of the guys that put an awesome swing on him. I mean, right here, you got to worry about Ashby turning and burning and making this 7-2.
2-0. He did tied him up nicely, though.
Yeah.
He was just in enough.
Yeah. Because Ashby was absolutely swinging for 7-2.
Three balls, one strike. This might be the last pitch we see Witherspoon throw.
Man, Ashby's, he's going to get another chance to try to do damage here. Gotta believe you're getting a heater. See if he can be on time this time.
3-1. Ball 4. They're loaded up. I do believe you could say goodnight, Gracie, I'd imagine.
The only thing is, I wonder if there's part of Skip Johnson that wants to see Witherspoon not capitulate here. You know, like the result doesn't impact Oklahoma's season one way or the other. And yeah, I think Skip wants this. You know, Witherspoon's kind of looking at Skip like, "Are you coming to get me?" And Skip's looking at him like, "No, I'm not. What are you going to do about it?"
Collier Cranford. 0 for 2. Bases loaded, one out. 1 ball, no strikes. The first 3 innings, that was on your defense. All 4 runs unearned. This is all you right now. 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes. I think you're right. I think he thought he was done.
Yeah.
On that last walk.
Now that said, if he gets one more out, I think Skip may come out and get him after an out, even with the bases loaded at that point. Well, that's a good pitch.
Good pitch, awful approach.
Yeah.
2-0, guy not throwing strikes, and you're swinging at a 2-0 slide piece.
I wonder if Collier Cranford might have got a little greedy there, thinking we can do something big here.
That could get a pitcher back on track. 2-1. See? 2-2. Tied him over the fastball.
Yeah, he might have saved Witherspoon right there because that was a ball.
Pendulum has swung back in Witherspoon's favor right now. 2-2 on the way. Full count.
This game does not decide what it wants to do, but it's about to make a decision. This pitch right here, the momentum is going to swing one way or the other.
Three-two now, and he got him with a high fastball. 2 down. That's one of those ABs. When you go back to the dugout, you are rethinking that whole approach on that 2-0 pitch onward.
Yeah. Yeah, Witherspoon, when he's able to throw this fastball at the top of the zone, that's not a hittable pitch. I don't care who you are. That is, you are swinging through that pitch. The only choice is to avoid it, take it, and Cranford couldn't do it.
Ty Wisdom takes a little bit high.
You know, that's it right there. What you have to do is take that pitch and get to a count where you don't have to deal with that pitch.
Wisdom's 0 for 1. Shojanaga at third base, English at second, Ashby at first. Two and one. Is that high fastball again? 2 balls, 2 strikes. Next pitch be the 100th of the game for Witherspoon. Top of the 4th, bases loaded. 4-2 Kansas. 2-2 now. Full count. And with 2 outs, we'll get the merry-go-round going on the bases.
Oh, baby.
Runners go, 3-2. Foul back.
For Kyson Witherspoon, this has been a character-building start. Nothing has come easy. The fact that that's a foul ball right there, just so on point for this start for him.
Another payoff pitch. Wisdom loops this one foul and out of play. Hasn't been much to cheer about if you're a Sooner fan of this game, but the saving grace is that there is still a ton of baseball to be played. Runners getting a nice workout on the base paths. They take off again in 3-2, and this one's fouled off again.
Wow.
Eight pitches so far seen by the freshman. Shojanaga, third base, English at second, Ashby over at first. Let's do it again. Check swing foul. pitch. Foul back.
Wow. They're not freshmen anymore, but we have seen some freshmen put together some really good at-bats in this thing.
Yeah. Let's see what Oklahoma decides to do here. Another 3-2. Another foul ball back. Love it. What a battle.
Oh, the music guy playing Staying Alive. Come on. Well done. In-house DJ. I see you. I hear you.
This will be the 12th pitch of the at-bat, 37th pitch of the inning. Wisdom takes a call, strike three, got him looking, and Kansas will leave them loaded. The boys so far early in this
Victor,
game.
that last at bat was about 15 minutes itself. So yeah, it's a great game so far, and a little all over the place, but two teams competing hard, and proud of where we're at right now.
Yeah, Fitz, sorry to ask you a big picture question in the middle of an intense game like this, but I'm thinking about this. We're having all these bubble conversations about your team, and here you are in a winner's bracket game against the league champ, and I would imagine you got to be pretty pleased. Like, this is exactly where you want to be, and we're in year 2.
Yeah, exactly, and I think we're certainly right in the mix, and the committee has a tough job, and I think RPI is the only thing that you could line up right now that doesn't put us in as a no-brainer. But I think it's one of those things, if you watch the play, there's zero question that we're one of the top 64 teams in the country, and we're proving it right now playing against a team that's potentially going to be a national seed. But our league's just a monster, and I think if you stack us up with everyone else and look at the play, look at the fact that we have a 1 and 2 that can battle anyone, we're there. But if it's just off metrics, then it's obviously a different story. But I don't think it is, and we just need to keep playing good baseball. We'll put ourselves in a good spot.
Fair ball down the line for Pettis. He's on his way to second. Leadoff double.
Hey, Fitz, let me ask you about John Nett. Made that unbelievable catch in center field and has had good at-bats for you. A Division II transfer, what's he meant to this offense?
Oh, Ruins, he's so tough. He's just if everyone played the way John did, this would be the easiest game in the world to coach. He's just super coachable, super tough, really serious about his craft. And, you said it, and I think it's one of the cool parts of, we talk about all different aspects of the portal. That's a really cool part of the portal. Guys like John, want to spend their last year and try it at a different level, and he hasn't skipped a beat. 3 great years at St. Cloud State, and, his picked up right where he left off there, and he's been a monster for us this year. He's such a great player, and obviously holds his own in center field just fine.
Coach, on the heels of that, you mentioned the portal. For you, now in your second season, you got to find a balance, I'd imagine, in building a program or rebuilding a program at KU that you want to develop guys, but you also want to be competitive, especially in a difficult conference as this. Where do you find that balance? How do you strike that balance?
Well, I think it always comes down to best available, and sometimes that's a portal guy, sometimes that's a JUCO guy, and then sometimes it's a high school guy, and we've been really picky with all of those groups and getting the right type of people. And I think one of the things that's cool is, as much as we've gone old and portal and JUCO, we've had back-to-back Big 12 Freshman of the Year, so it proves that we're doing it with the young guys too. So I think that the key is it's always about fit, whether I was at Des Moines Area Community College or Dallas Baptist or LSU or KU. It's 100% about fit, the type of competitor, and we've got a profile of a kid that works great here, and you're looking at them right now. These are awesome dudes, great teammates, really tough. They play hard, they want to get better, and they love playing for each other.
Coach, we appreciate it. Good luck today and onward over the weekend if you get there.
Thanks, guys.
All right. That one's singled out to right field. Pettis will come around third. He will score. And it's a one-run ball game, 4-3 Jayhawks. So the chopper double off the bat of Pettis, a single by Mudler, picks up his second RBI of the game.
It's just the length of this Oklahoma lineup. Mudler's really an everyday player because he's such an elite defender, and they can generate offense from any part of this lineup.
Number 9 hitter Jason Walk, the right fielder. And thanks to Coach Fitzgerald for joining us. Walk struck out looking in the second inning. Bouncer off the foot. No balls, 2 strikes. 2 strikes now. Shojanaga will move off the turf.
Baseball. You got him right where you want him now.
7 hits for the Sooners. Done with 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. 1 away. Got him off speed pitch. Top of the order coming up now, John Spikerman.
Boy, that's impressive by Reese Dutton. And things start to go sideways on you, and on a changeup too. Hey now.
The old left-handed neutralizer. Spikerman 1 for 2, singled in the first, also scored the first run for Oklahoma.
And Spikerman has not been able to play he's only played 32 games because of injury, and Oklahoma is a different team when he's in there. He's an elite defender in center field, and this type of speed is such an impact to any offense.
He is a presence in that leadoff spot.
Yeah.
Big hat comes up empty, 1-2.
You know, obviously he's not trying to hit ground balls. He's trying to hit line drives. But if he hits a ball on the ground, believe me, if you're a Kansas infielder, do not retreat. You better be coming forward when you feel that ground ball, or you're not going to need to bother throwing it.
And down him off speed pitch. Throw to first base and safe at first. Butler almost caught off guard over there. Back-to-back strikeouts. 2 down.
Is this changeup again, maybe? Let's see. The slider's got a lot of horizontal to it. Almost turned it into 2 outs. Good on you, Reese Dutton.
No balls and a strike on Jackson Willits. 0 for 2, 2 ground ball outs.
Gosh, Victor, it's so interesting that this game's been extremely choppy, and all that said, nothing settles a game down better than strikes. A pitcher that throws strikes.
Keeps your defense on its toes.
So we talked about it. Jackson Willits, his brother Eli, is the class of 2025 in Oklahoma with Ethan Holiday. Can you imagine that state championship type of deal?
That's not fair. That is driven out toward right field. Moving back on it is Wisdom. Onto the track. That one is gone. Big fly for Jackson Willits. A 2-run shot. And Oklahoma's on top 5-4.
Jackson Willits, it's a famous last name, but he's a unique player. Switch hitter, very physical for a shortstop. Just trying to find his way through his freshman year. But maybe showing you a little glimpse of the future there. I got to believe he's a guy that's going to hit some home runs in college baseball, and that is way gone.
9th of the season, now with 36 runs batted in. I'm trying to figure out why they decided to try to go firm in on a fastball. And this one's skied out toward left field. It'll stay in the ballpark. Touch on that in just a sec, but a 2-run home run by Jackson Willits turns this game around. Sooners lead it by a run. On ESPN Plus, and that, what's your schedule look like? When do you kick off? Next weekend?
Yeah, always on the Plus. I think the real question is this, Victor. If Henry Ford invented the motor vehicle, the car, and Scott Gustafson of ESPN invented squeeze play, who has made more of a contribution to mankind?
Well, I know where my bread's buttered, and there's no doubt Gus is the guy. That's easy. I mean, if you're in Team Me Up.
Yeah. Hey, Gus, and I think we have to credit Phil Orleans. So the combination of Phil Orleans and Scott Gustafson, way more impactful than Henry Ford. Just saying,
No
like
doubt.
just one man's opinion.
And Phil's my guy.
Yeah, that's right. Just one man's opinion.
Kyson Witherspoon is out of the game. Left-hander Carter Campbell takes over, the senior from Keller, Texas, just up the road here. Also spent some time at Western Oklahoma State College.
Yeah, the Oklahoma bullpen is interesting because it's a bunch of uber veterans, and Campbell's one of these guys that's thrown a lot of college baseball innings. So it's more savvy and guile over stuff, and Campbell's stuff is plenty good. It's just unique. It's kind of a left-handed sinker ball guy.
Oklahoma with the lead, 5-4 as we start the 5th. 8-9-1 for the Jayhawks. Diggins, Kazuski, and Net. This one down towards center field. It'll stay in the ballpark. One down. Diggins getting it a ride, but he's 0 for 3 on the afternoon. And here comes Kazuski. Okay, so Witherspoon, by the way, 4 innings, 4 runs, none earned, 2 hits, 6 walks, 6 strikeouts.
You would have had to work hard to give up an earned run today. That would have been a real magic act.
He actually worked real hard to get out of giving one up last inning after walking the bases loaded and then striking out Cranford and Wisdom.
And that was pretty awesome. Like, Skip Johnson is an absolute wizard with pitchers, and that was a wizard moment where it's like you walk the bases loaded, 100 out of 100 coaches are coming to get you, and Skip Johnson's like, no, man, you can do this, and you're going to do this, and you did.
Campbell falls behind here at 3-0 to the number 9 hitter. Kazuski 1 for 1 with a single, RBI, and a walk. He's also scored a run.
You know what would have been fun is being one of Skip's assistant coaches in that dugout and watching that, and your brain goes to, oh yeah, now you're taking him out, and then you look at Skip not even flinching. You're like, oh man, you're going to do this, aren't you? You're going to leave him in. And sure enough, that was absolutely the right move.
Here's payoff. Kazuski chops it to second base. Nicholas on to first, 2 down. Well, that's the beauty of playing and skippering a no-stress game.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
it's a luxury.
It's super luxury. I think it'd be nice to win the tournament. You're the conference champion as it is. But you got to look at things big picture.
Mm-hmm.
Teaching moments, right?
Yeah,
I'm sure you did it when you were coaching. It's just there are moments where you as a player don't understand what's going on, or why am I still in this? Why is he riding me? Why is he not taking me out? But there's always a plan in place, assuming you are blessed to have a good coach that is trying to develop you both, not only physically but from a mental perspective as well.
Yeah, and that's where the team dynamic is really tricky, because you're trying to help one individual in the midst of a game that matters to all of the individuals. And so But to your point, sometimes like that's the luxury of this game for Oklahoma is Skip Johnson and Kyson Witherspoon have a moment there that can really be focused on individual development.
Driven out toward right center field, headed toward the bullpen, but caught at the wall by John Spikerman. A 1-2-3 inning. We'll hear from Skip Johnson today, and your decision to leave him in there. It seemed for us it was a learning moment for him, considering how this game had played out up until that.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing for him is, he was trying really hard. And when you try in this game, you fell. And he was trying to execute pitch. What you saw the very last was just his heart, man. He pitches with his heart. And that's what's special about him. Now he's got to just, continue to learn to execute pitches. I mean, his stuff is his stuff. It's really good. Now he's got to learn how to execute pitches because his heart is there. And now he's got to get his mind in there. Like he tried to pitch out of the inning when we made an error. He's good enough to get 4 outs. His stuff is good enough to get 4 outs. And he's got to continue to grow in that area.
Hey, Skip, I want to ask you about Michael Snyder. He was a good player at Washington. I'd say a really good player. He's been just an excellent player for you all. What has he brought to the table for you as a grad transfer?
I think the leadership, as much as anything, Runes, like I should have made that play. I'm sorry. But, I think the leadership and, the calmness that he has. And Reggie and Russell's done a really good job of helping his approach. And I think that's changed his life a little bit.
Hey, Skip, one more on Jackson Willits. Is there any chance you could have him convince his younger brother Eli to come to school? Can Jackson do that?
I told Reggie, I said, Reggie, go get his GED, and so he can come in early. He's a good player, and it's a great family, great baseball family, great baseball mind. So it's fun to be around.
Just tell him that it worked for Bryce Harper, right? Get the GED, go to college early.
Yeah, hey, I can remember back in the day, Coach Harmon saw Harper at 14 years old. He said, tell him to go to Japan and play.
Hey, Coach, before we let you go, your son, Tyler Johnson, the year that he had down at McLennan, how proud are you of what he's been able to accomplish?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question. I'm really proud of him. He has a great baseball mind. He loves baseball, and he works extremely hard at it. I'm really proud of him.
Coach, we appreciate it. Good luck to you the rest of the way.
Thank you, guys.
All right, buddy. Skip Johnson, head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners. 1 out. Snyder's goes down swinging. Anthony McKenzie coming to the plate.
Can you imagine trying to recruit players from your son? That'd be interesting.
Yeah, right.
If I don't get your shortstop, you're grounded.
Yeah. You would think there'd be a pipeline there, although McLennan is in Waco, which should be feeding Baylor, you would think.
Yeah.
Although it kind of did with Rich Thompson going from McLennan to becoming the head coach at Baylor. Get his GED and come to school early. I love it.
Yeah. Josh Holliday, if he's listening, he's thinking, all right, my nephew needs to do that exact same thing.
Little dribbler on the right side. 2 down. Bring up Jackson Nicholas.
Boy, that was very insightful what Skip just said there with Kyson Witherspoon. You can almost hear him teaching his pitchers, like, sometimes we're going to need you to get 4 outs, and you have to be okay with that.
Nicholas 0 for 2 with a couple of fly balls to center. Oftentimes I've heard the phrase "try easy." To try to slow things down as opposed to speeding things up or tensing up. One. This one off the end of the bat out to shallow right center field. Net coming on, and he will make the sliding catch as the Jayhawks have themselves a 1-2-3 inning. World Series. Omaha, Nebraska. Right now we're in Arlington, Texas, home of the Texas Rangers. It's Globe Life Field. Game 2 of 4 today here at this ballpark. TCU jettisoned Kansas State earlier today with a 9-4 victory. TCU will play tomorrow morning. Awaiting the outcome of this game. Currently, Oklahoma's on top by a run, 5-4. 2, 3, and 4 for Kansas. Hartle, Shojanagan, English. Hartle's 0 for 3. A couple of strikeouts. Did reach on one of the 5 errors committed by Oklahoma. Campbell back out for his second inning of work. Had himself a 1-2-3 frame. This one's lifted foul and out of play. By the way, that 1-2-3 frame last inning by Campbell, the first of the game. Dudner just returned the favor in the bottom of the 5th. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You can see where Campbell's a perfect complement to follow Witherspoon, where Witherspoon just rushing everything up at you, and Campbell, it's a little more trickery.
Out towards center field. Spikerman is there. One down. Take a look at the bracket we were just talking about. That's the morning game. After this one, you've got Cincinnati, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, and UCF in the nightcap. The loser of this game will take on TCU at 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 Eastern, tomorrow morning.
Cincinnati has been such a great add to this league. They, under Jordan Bischel, now of course Jordan Bischel in his first year at Cincinnati, but they play with some elite energy. Cincinnati, Victor, they should always be the morning game or the last game of the night. It's either the morning game to just get you into your day, or it's the night game. It's kind of like a late night soiree, if you will.
Out towards center field, Spikerman is there. 2 down. Your thoughts on Cincinnati and the field of 64?
You know, I think they're similar to Kansas. What Dan Fitzgerald just told us, that when you watch them play, you're like, yeah, that looks like an NCAA tournament team. And, you know, and any team that holds its own in the Big 12, you feel like could hold its own in the NCAA tournament. Cincinnati's metrics aren't quite there. You know, Kansas, same thing. If we're only thinking about the metrics, then that's not going to fare as well for Cincinnati. But, you know, we need to have committees that use metrics but don't capitulate to them. And, you know, in fairness, like Dan Fitzgerald and Jordan Bischel, they're only in years 2 and 1 at their program, so they're going to adjust their schedules to have better metrics.
Spikerman, busy man. Gets all 3 of them. We're off to the bottom of the 6th. Sooners up by a run. We had Texas Tech and TCU, and there were 2 teams going kind of in different directions. Tech was kind of trending the positive route. All of a sudden, the last third of the season kind of wigged out on them a little bit. Are they a team that still you believe in?
I believe in their talent. You know, like when I saw Tech finished, I think 12-17 in the conference, I was shocked, quite honestly. I mean, first of all, the pedigree they have under Tim Tadlock. Right. They've been to Omaha 4 times since 2014. Yeah, it was for whatever reason, sometimes baseball's going to be that way. It didn't come together. A lot of times when your seasons go sideways, you start on the mound. You know, obviously they didn't end up developing the depth that they wanted on the mound. But even coming here to Arlington, you were sitting there thinking, hey, Texas Tech, they've got to win this thing to get in the NCAA tournament. They have the roster to do it. Mm-hmm. You know, of course, they lost last night to Oklahoma State, who's just playing great baseball right now. So, yeah, I was surprised. You know, in fairness to Tech, Damian Bravo was having an all-league type of season. He's been out for a while.
That's some ground to the right side. Let's look through for a base hit. A leadoff single. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think it was at that time, that series between Tech and TCU, where Bravo was just going off. He had was it the game before where he went 0 for 4, 0 for 5 with a bunch of 5 strikeouts?
And that was like, you thought it was a misprint.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He was just going crazy offensively. Fun player to watch.
And I think that's part of the story of the Big 12 this year. Like, if Texas Tech is finishing 10th in your league, you got a really good league.
And that's how some people will look at the league, right? If you're looking at it from a glass half full perspective, it's like, oh, listen, you got a bunch of 500 teams. Yeah, well, maybe it's because they're all battling each other, right? The negative Nellies are going to say what they're going to say no matter what.
Yeah, and I think it's the defense of the SEC that you hear a lot is like this year, I believe we're going to have 5 SEC teams get in the NCAA tournament with a 13-17 conference record. I'm okay with it because it's an awesome league. I mean, it's a little uncomfortable, but I get it. I guess that's a better way to say it.
Sure.
But to your point, Victor, I think it's spot on. You can't, air quotes, make that excuse for the SEC, and then it doesn't apply to a league like the Big 12. I agree 100% with what you're saying. The reason the records are bunched up in the league is because you just have a bunch of really good teams.
Yeah.
And that makes Oklahoma's accomplishment even more emphasized to me.
I'm not sure why he went to second base. I'm sitting here, you're talking, and I'm pointing to first, and Doug decided to go to second base. Now you got first and second with nobody out. Take the out.
Yeah, and he really just didn't know who the runner was because Pettis is a really good mover, so that makes that. He's going to have to just make a perfect throw for this to work, but you're right. It's in a game like this where it's still very winnable, take your out.
Looks like they might take a look and see if the foot stayed on the base. From up here, it looked like there was some separation as he caught the ball because the ball pulled him off the base. KU challenging. We'll take a look at it. Dutton is at 99 pitches, so there's action going in the Jayhawks bullpen. Calling the field is safe at second. Tough to tell from that angle.
Yeah, his right foot is clearly off. That's feels like it'd be a pretty easy review.
Yeah. So first and second, nobody out. Jason Walk coming up. Walk takes outside. 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Shojanaga over and in at third base. Walk punching at it. 1-1. Two. Pettis at second base, Mudler at first. And the wild pitch will advance the runners 90 feet. Not much that English can do there. That pitch out way out in front of the plate.
This will be interesting. Kansas, remember, has a really good bullpen who's had a day off. Maybe you let Dutton finish here and then you turn it over to the pen?
It's possible.
Finish the hitter?
Got to get some outs. off the plate. Full count.
They've got swing and miss in their bullpen. That's not really Dutton's game, and you're going to want to have the strikeout available if you're Kansas.
Dutton's 3-2. Swing and a miss. Down goes Wong.
I think this is fastball down. Underrated pitch. Don't see it thrown very much. Maybe changeup. I don't know. Good pitch though. Beat him down under.
Coach Fitz coming out. Might be it. Wouldn't surprise me at 105 pitches. And sure enough, the veteran Reese Dutton working into the 6th inning. Departs trailing at 5-4 and with men at second and third base. Pitching change here in the 6th inning.
You got TCU advancing. You're going to take on whoever loses this game. What it's so fun about Friday, if you start thinking about it, every one of those games is a single elimination game at this point. If you win, you stay. You lose, you go home. And they're still probably going to, it's a winnable game for them. And that's what great teams do is they don't have to play perfect to win.
Lanthier out of Northfield, Minnesota, 6'5", 230, a junior. St. Cloud State. Transferred from. 4-0 with a 4.21 ERA, 20th appearance of the season. Ethan will come on with runners to second and third. Pettis over at third base. Mudler at second. Infield back. Spikerman takes upstairs. He's 1 for 3, had a single with a run scored in the first.
I'll tell you, there's a calmness to this Oklahoma offense that's impressive. They just keep coming at you.
Spikerman skies went out toward right field. Shallow right field. Second baseman underneath it. Nicholas makes the play. Check that Diggins, pardon me. 2 down. Here's the Willits at bat. Pitches outside. All of a sudden, tries to sneak one in. Middle.
Jackson Willits giving you a little. And that ball, that was well struck.
9th home run of the season, now with 36 runs batted in. That one swing of the bat, putting Oklahoma on top by a run. 5-4 here in the bottom of the 6th. 2 balls, no strikes. Sooners with 9 hits. Jayhawks have managed 2. They were helped out by the 5 errors committed in this game by Oklahoma early on. 2-0. There's a strike. Pettis will lead off single. Mudler reaching on the fielder's choice. 3-1.
Well, that's the pitch. Lanthers really likes that slider. It's, KU, I think a good college bullpen for me, Victor, is 4 good arms. And Kansas has got those guys. They've got 4. 96. Whoa.
It's a queso.
Yeah. Especially when you've been sliding a guy to death, and then next thing you rush up at 96 on him.
3-2. Ground ball to the right side. Backhanded at first base by Harder over the first. They get the third out. So Sooners get a couple of minutes scoring position, leave them stranded. We're off to the 7th. Jayhawks down by a run.
Last year, teams with like 47 RPI didn't get in. So you're feeling like if you're above 45, you're just feeling like you've got work to do. Here's the good thing for Kansas. Like, you haven't lost yet this week. Like,
right.
Why leave it to the committee when you can go ahead and take matters in your own hands? And now you're playing the number one team in this league. And this is a winnable game with 3 innings left.
Can teams like Kansas and Cincinnati benefit by other teams in other conferences losing?
Well, it depends on who loses. Like, if bubble teams lose, yes. But the problem is the field shrinks when, like, Indiana State's probably not going to win the Missouri Valley Conference tournament. So that league goes from 1 to 2 now. East Carolina is getting beat today in the American. That's bad news for the bubble teams, clearly.
Ashby, Cranford, and Wisdom for Kansas here in their half of the 7th. Carter Campbell has gone 2 innings. He's retired all 6 batters that he has faced. Ashby 1 for 2 with a double, fly ball to right and a 1. Three and 1. 5 of the 6 batters retired by the left-hander have been on fly balls to the center fielder, John Spikerman. Now, I know you've raved about his defense, but you got to spread the love around a little bit.
Yeah. And those weren't even like vintage Spikerman plays. That was like somebody hitting them fungos out there.
A lost start, by the way.
Fair.
3-2. And there's a leadoff walk. You know what's really a lost start is the fungo pop-up to catchers.
Oh, man, I took a lot of pride in those. I would say I was a tick above average at that. Not elite, not great, but above average.
I've got to find, and I've seen it on social media, it's like a drone shot from above home plate of a coach doing it. This is popped up. The bunt is 1 down. And that pop-up, I mean, it's such a cool shot. Straight up.
It's awesome.
And the catcher's not moving very far. Right back down to him. 1 away as Cranford is retired. 0 for 4 so far.
I like the idea in a game like this is more bunt for a hit, and then if you get it down, it would just play as a sack. But it doesn't feel good when that happens.
The only question on that is why try to drag as a right-handed batter with a lefty on the bump as opposed to push bunt with the left-hander falling off to the third base side.
Definitely prefer push bunt, 100%. It's still, like, I think drag bunts are really hard for left-handed pitchers. You got to throw all the way across the field, but you're right, like the push bunt is perfect because you're going one direction, they're going the other.
Right, and it's not anticipated in today's game. Ball and a strike on Wisdom. 0 for 2 with a walk. Ground ball over to under the glove of the first baseman Snyder. Turning second and headed to third is Ashby. And Kansas has runners at the corners on what should be an error, right?
I would think so.
That's got to be an error all the way.
Let's see. What a day for... Yeah, Snyder makes that play 95 out of 100 times.
It is ruled an error. The 6th of the game. Popped him up. Shallow right, long run out there for Nicholas. Walt coming in. Nicholas makes the catch. Tagging is Ashby. He's coming home. The friendly play. He's in time. What a perfect throw by Nicholas to gun down Ashby for the third out here, the 7th. An interesting double play to end the top of the 7th for KU. Down by a run. Lenny Ashby tagging on that ball to shallow right. Just a terrific play by Jackson Nicholas, the second baseman, to gun him down at the plate.
Yeah, Jackson Nicholas saying, "I want to rock." That was
amen, brother. Carmichael swinging first pitch. Rolls it foul. 3-4-5 for the Sooners. Snyder on deck. McKenzie to follow.
Not every game where you get to see a second baseman showcase their arms, but Jackson Nicholas has thrown 2 laser beams in this game. One on a double play and one right there. I guess that's a double play too. Hard to believe, but it was.
Especially when a ball's hit where it's at. Your right fielder is typically the guy with the biggest arm, right? Allegedly.
Yeah.
And it's a much easier play for him coming in.
Yeah, and Walk is a flyer out there. And my first instinct on that was like, you know, Jason Walk, you can't let your second baseman catch that ball. That's got to be you. And then you watch Nicholas throw the ball in the air. Like that was not a one-hopper. Like that's a frozen rope across the field.
That one cued foul. Count remains at a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, the fact that this is a winnable game from Oklahoma is both crazy and impressive at the same time. 6 errors, a wheelbarrow full of free passes, and still they're winning the game. It absolutely does not feel like they're winning the game.
No. 6 errors. They've allowed 2 hits, but Kansas has stranded 10. That is out toward left center field. That is hit well. Net giving chase onto the track, near the warning track, and it drops in there. Rounding second, headed to third. With a lead-off triple is Easton Carmichael on a ball that should have been caught. Take a look at the top of the 7th, how it ended, the double play that we were just talking about, with Ashby at third base.
Yeah, at first, Jason Walk's playing pretty deep, but at first you're like, man, come on, Walk, get there. And then Nicholas barely explained, look at this laser beam. That's in the air. It's in the air, and he puts it on the plate. Look at this. Shoof.
Boy, Net made a terrific play out in the right center field area, robbing a home run earlier. And he was so timid on that ball hit by Carmichael in left center field. That is line to left field, making a 2-run lead for the Sooners. Triple and a single. Big turn at first by Snyder. He'll hold. Second hit of the game, picks up his 54th run batted in.
Yeah, Lanther's really, it's a good fastball and it's a slider. And Snyder is just a uber veteran. All over the breaking ball.
Taking off, Snyder toward second base, no throw, and he's got himself a stolen base. 15th of the year.
For a big dude. I mean, Snyder's 6'4", 200-plus pounds. He's playing first base and stealing. He might steal 20 bases by the time this season's over. You know what's the part, Victor, that I want to mention is, Easton Carmichael, Net almost catches that ball. I think Net might even tell us I probably should catch that ball, even though it's drilled. But Carmichael never stops sprinting, and he ends up on third base easy. Remember, Carmichael's a catcher.
Pickoff attempted second, and Snyder's back.
Easton Carmichael DHs because they've got Mudler catching, but that's Carmichael's primary position. Oklahoma, they run the bases hard. They run the bases aggressively and with a purpose.
One ball, 2 strikes on Anthony McKenzie. 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. That's a called strike 3 on the outside part of the plate. 1 down. Here's Nicholas, 0 for 3. This one sliced down the left field line and out of play. No balls to the strike. Going back to what you were talking about, guys busting out of the box. Carmichael with the triple. What I noticed is Michael Snyder on the single that brought home Carmichael. Watch this turn at first base.
Wow. Yeah, that's impressive.
Any bobble whatsoever, he keeps going to second. And I think that's what gets lost sometimes.
Yeah.
You try to get kids to say, just bust all the way.
Yep. You know, I think part of it is you have to be mature enough as a player to, hey, there's another time. I'm going to celebrate the hit later. After I execute the hit, I've got a base run. Almost like I'm not surprised that I hit a seed to left field. I'm going to try and turn that into a double play. But to your point, Victor, like that starts the second you drop the bat.
Mm-hmm. One out here in the bottom of the 7th. 1 run in for Oklahoma. They're up 6-4. Nicholas loops one out to right center field. Net coming on. He'll dive, and he can't come up with it. It'll roll all the way to the wall. Snyder will score easily. Nicholas is on his way to third. RBI triple. It's 7-4 Oklahoma.
He didn't come straight in. You see, he kind of went. I think Net thought that ball was deeper than it ended up being.
Third triple of the year for Nicholas. Picks up his 32nd RBI. Infield in for Kansas. A little chopper foul. Kendall Pettis, the left fielder.
Now that's interesting, huh? That's like a sack. It's a slash, but he showed sack so early in a squeeze situation. Very interesting.
Pettis 3 for 3. 2 singles and a double. He's also scored a run. Butler on deck. 1-2 to Pettis. 2 balls, 2 strikes. KU with 4 unearned runs between the second and the third innings. Oklahoma's battled back. There's a called strike 3. Got him on a breaking ball. 2 down.
Good slider right there. When he pures it, that slider's a good pitch. It almost travels a little bit uphill, like a submariner's slider.
Butler on board 3 times, 2 for 3. Couple of singles, 2 runs batted in. Seven for Oklahoma. We are in the bottom of the 7th. And now that glaring double play at the top of the inning just seems even brighter. Ashby getting gunned down with Jayhawks down by a run. Lifted in the air. Right side, foul territory. Hartle can't come up with it.
Yeah, these plays are so difficult. You got to hustle over, ball's coming back on the field. Oh boy.
Foul tip. Foul back.
Everybody's always frustrated when catchers don't catch that, but those are hard plays. Yeah, that was well done right there. Well done, Bobby. See ya. I'm just telling you, kudos to Bobby. If I see Ben Hartle coming at me, I might drop the camera. Abandon ship. I don't know what the protocol is there, Victor, but I'm just telling you, I don't know how I would react. Ben Hartle's a big man.
I don't think I would disagree with you.
Yeah. Based on the quality of the pictures I take with my phone, there's no chance I'll ever operate a camera. Oh, Bobby, make a play. Look at you.
That's what he said. That's what Bobby said to him. Make a play, Hartle.
That's right.
I had you framed up and everything. Full count.
Times in your life where you got to stand your ground, and Bobby did it. Well done.
Nicholas over at third base, 2 runs in for Oklahoma. That is ball 4. Missed inside. Mudlow hung around the plate as if he was thinking maybe he'd get rung up.
Yeah. That's a smart play. Don't show the umpire up. That's bad policy.
Runners in the corners. Now Jason Walk at the plate. Rough afternoon for him. 0 for 3 with 3 punch-outs. Meeting on the mound, trying to discuss what they're going to do here. Just 36 pitches for there. There is action in the Jayhawks bullpen. Colby Dugan, the senior, next man up. This is game 2 of the 4 games this evening, Globe Life Field. Oklahoma right now penciled in to host a regional. Kansas, according to D1 Baseball, missed the tournament. They need a deep run. Down by 3 here in the bottom of the 7th. Cincinnati, Texas Tech coming up after this one. 1 ball, no strikes. Kansas 4 runs, 2 hits, 1 error. They've stranded 10. Oklahoma 7 runs on 12 hits. They've committed 6 errors. They've stranded 7 thus far. 2-0. Wonder if Ethan's out of gas.
Looks a little fatigued. This game it's not been smooth.
Big hack by the freshman at the plate. 1-1. Good point, too.
Well, that slider is a good pitch. It's unique, and it's almost like he protects 96 miles an hour with that slider.
Full count. Winner of this game will play tomorrow afternoon, 12:30 Central Time, 1:30 Eastern. The loser will take on TCU tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Central. 3-2. This is fouled back. Butler is on the move, so he'll head back to first base.
Been tough going for Jason Walk today, but valuable playing time and at-bats for him as he builds his Oklahoma career. You can see the talent, that's for sure.
And he draws a walk. They're loaded up. John Spikerman coming up. See if Coach Fitzgerald's going to make a move, and he is. Colby Dugan will be coming on in relief here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Oh, pardon me. Cooper Moore is going to come in. Pitching change here at Globe Life Field.
Incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, with your home, auto, boat, and RV all bundled with Progressive, you've got the peace of mind to really wander.
Yeah, I just hope it stays this way. Once word gets out about these places, they tend to...
Are you done?
And there it is.
But at least your vehicles are protected.
Legitimate interest,
Yeah.
and you know, I think 7 feels like it's going to be the number for the league, and I think that's a great number. I mean, 7 teams from this league. I think that does the justice for what's occurred this season.
Cooper Moore, the freshman, takes over on the bump. 27th appearance, 1-3 and a 3.90 ERA. Comes on with 2 outs, and the bases loaded to face John Spikerman. Swinging first pitch, lifted in the air, shallow left field toward the foul line. Long run for Cranford, and in fair territory makes the catch for out number 3. 2 runs on the board for Oklahoma. We're off to the 8th inning. Jayhawks coming up. They're down 7-4. Backing on more, 2 more in the bottom of the 7th to take a 3-run lead as we start this 8th inning. Sooner fans and Jayhawk fans across this ballpark. The Tech and Cincinnati coming up after this one. New pitcher on for the Sooners, Dylan Crooks, junior out of Euless, Texas, just up the road. 22nd appearance, 1-0 and a 2.88 ERA.
Boy, so interesting. Very few Ks, 15 Ks for 25 innings, but I'll tell you, you had me at 2 walks in 25 innings. You got a lead, and every comeback seems to have those secret ingredients of freebies.
That is your hello, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Had me at walks.
That's right. Had me at strike throwing.
9-1-2 for the Jayhawks here in the 8th. Kozuski, Ned, and Hartle. Kozuski with a walk and a run scored back in the 2nd. RBI single in the 3rd. Grounded out in the 5th. That puts him at 1 for 2. One ball, 1 strike. Good pitch, outside part of the plate.
Boy, Crooks is unique, isn't he? He really hides the ball, almost turns his back all the way to the hitter.
Transfer from Paris Junior College. This one's out toward left field. Here comes Pettis. He'll make the catch. Does not overrun it and makes sure that the baseball's in the glove securely. 1 down.
And smiles about it. Love all of that. I think the Oklahoma players are basically saying to themselves, I think we're done kicking the ball around today, gentlemen. Not easy, though. I mean, you're in a dead sprint like that, trying to keep your eyes level and see the ball well. Not easy.
John Nett, 0 for 2. On board twice with a hit by a pitch in the first inning. A walk in the second.
Boy, Crooks is interesting. According to Synergy, Victor, throws his changeup 47% of the time. That's that low 80s pitch we're seeing. Throws his fastball 42% of the time. When was the last time you saw somebody throw more changeups than fastballs? Hoffman?
Doug Jones.
Oh, Doug Jones. There you go. That's a good one.
Slow, slower, slowest.
I love it.
Trevor did have a heck of a changeup.
Yeah.
He had a really good fastball early on. People forget he was a shortstop in the Reds organization when the Marlins took him in the expansion draft and made him a closer.
The Marlins did that?
Marlins.
Wow.
Well, he did it just before coming over from Cincinnati from the Reds organization. The Marlins in '93, speaking of Hoffman, had Brian Harvey was on their roster, and at the time, still a pretty darn good closer. They had Trevor Hoffman, and then they made a trade and acquired Rob Nen, with Hoffman going to San Diego as part of the Gary Sheffield deal.
So Crooks is protecting his 94-mile-an-hour fastball with this changeup that is just filthy. And again, like it's hard to find it because he turns his back completely to the hitter. Interesting.
Hartle today 0 for 4. Skied one to centers last time up. There's the 1-0. 1-1. Oklahoma's defense straight up. 2 outs here in the 8th inning. You're watching the Big 12 Baseball Championship live from Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. 7-4, Oklahoma leading Kansas. Loser of this game will play TCU tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. The winner will take on the winner of that game, TCU, and the loser. That is tomorrow at 12:30 Central Time, 1:30 Eastern Time. Oklahoma scheduled to host a regional, if not more. Kansas trying to play for a post-season berth. Chojinaga 0 for 3 today with a walk. Hartle picking up the infield base hit. Just the 3rd hit this afternoon for Kansas. 0-2. There's that off-speed pitch.
I'm just shocked Crooks' strikeout numbers aren't bigger. As good as that changeup is, and as many strikes as he throws.
Swing and a miss down with the off-speed pitch, and we're off to the bottom of the 8th inning with Oklahoma up 3.
If their program was a stock, I'm all in, right? Like we're diving into that stock. There's so much momentum there, but this was a winnable game against the top team in the league. And for Oklahoma, not to be pejorative, Victor, but I don't think we could see Oklahoma play worse. And they're winning this game comfortably in spite of making 6 errors, tons of free passes. Oklahoma has so many different ways they can win a baseball game.
Willits, Carmichael, and Snyder here in their half of the 8th. Willits 1 for 4. 2-run home run in the 4th inning, his 9th of the year. Hit off the end of the bat and just beyond the reach of Chase Diggins. Willis has himself a leadoff single. Let's take a look at the resume for the Sooners of Oklahoma. Made enough set, 35-18 on the season, 23-7 in the Big 12.
Yeah, that's the big bullet point. You win this league. You won 23 out of 30 league games in the Big 12, and you won the league by 3 games. To me, you should be a top 8 national seed. Now, I get it. Like, you would love the RPI to be 8th, right, instead of 14th. But the KPI is even better. The strength of schedule.
So 1 count on Easton Carmichael, the DH. Kyson Witherspoon, just saw him, made his 10th start today.
Think about this 3-year run for Oklahoma baseball, which is a program with a lot of great history and have competed at the highest level. But 2022, you're in the CWS finals. Last year, you're in a regional. This year, you're going to be a top 8 national seed. That is a heck of a 3-year run.
Good way to cap off your Big 12 resume before heading off to the SEC next year.
Yep.
Quick throw to first base. Willits is back.
It feels like Oklahoma State is more of the historic brand in college baseball. 7 straight years in Omaha in the 80s, and Pete Incaviglia is our Babe Ruth, and Robin Ventura is our Joe DiMaggio. But, Oklahoma, that 1994 national title, that's a big data point.
Back-to-back singles that open things up here in the 8th inning for Oklahoma. Hey, those Cowboys teams led by Gary Ward. Knuckles up.
Yeah.
Run the knuckles up on the bat.
Incredible.
They could swing it, boy.
Jeremy Burnett.
Monty Ferris.
And those uniforms. And I think the point to me is the Big 12 in baseball, is it disappointing to lose Oklahoma and Texas? For sure. Those are great programs. But to pick up Arizona State, Arizona, who's, just won the last Pac-12 baseball championship that there's ever going to be. Pick up Utah, who's had a great year. That's another bubble team. And so, as I said earlier, I really don't care for conference realignment. But all that said, I couldn't be more excited about the future of Big 12 baseball. It's going to be an awesome, awesome baseball league.
Snyder takes a strike. There's going to be continuous realignment. I think the WAC's going to need to change eventually, especially with Grand Canyon leaving now.
The one thing that you love about getting the Arizona schools and Utah to just continue to get that West Coast access for this league. One of the things that's happened in the Big 12 is this has become a very attractive destination for California kids. And ironically, Pete Incaviglia and Robin Ventura are, in fact, kids from California.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Snyder 2 for 4. Double, single, and an RBI. He's also scored a run. Picked up a stolen base.
And I don't want to whiff on Victor. This year of expansion in the Big 12 has been really fun. I mean, in this tournament right now, think about that game that UCF and Cincinnati played the other night. That was, if you're a Big 12 fan, you're proud to have that game in your purview.
Snyder goes down looking for the first out.
Your BYU was very young. Cincinnati, under a first-year coach in Jordan Bishop, came in like gangbusters. Houston is a program with tremendous upside. They're going to be a player in this league in baseball. Just too good of a baseball city for that not to happen. And then UCF, same thing. We've always felt like this is a program with a ton of upside in baseball, and they've proven that this year. They're right there in NCAA tournament contention.
Roller over to third. Shojanaga goes to second base. They get the lead runner at second. A throw. Nice play at first base by Hartle. Otherwise, you got another run coming across. I'm surprised Shoji-Naga didn't just tag third and try to go across the diamond.
Yeah, either Shoji-Naga and Diggins did not have good pre-pitch communication, or Shoji-Naga just kind of spaced it. But you could see that Diggins has played way over to pull.
I mean, the ball took Shoji-Naga toward the base.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Shoji-Naga definitely threw Diggins open, to use the football vernacular.
2 outs, runners at the corners. Looking ahead to the top of the 9th inning for Kansas, English, Ashby, and Cranford due up. They're trying to keep it right here, down by 3. Cute foul.
We haven't seen it this week, but it's been a very offensive time in college baseball. Just there are a lot of home runs, a lot of runs scored, and the one part of that is if you're a pitching coach, obviously that's not your favorite thing, but as a fan, like every game, no lead is safe, is what I'm trying to say. And so if you're Oklahoma right now, as good as you are, as good as your bullpen is, you haven't played very good defense today. And 3 runs doesn't feel super comfortable.
Right. Now that you go back to the beginning of the game when you mentioned and talked about the defense for Oklahoma prior to the bevy of errors that they've committed in today's game, it's like that might be a little bit of a bugaboo as you get into regional play.
Yeah.
And then beyond.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like you want to get the bad stuff out of your system, but you don't want it to become a habit either. So there's a catch-22 there.
1-2, tied them up. We'll head to the 9th inning. Kansas trailing it 7-4.
Lay the foundation.
Say is, hey, you're right there. You could keep winning. You know, if you're Cincinnati, why leave it to the committee when you can take care of it yourself? So, yeah, and they've been fun to watch. I'm telling you, this is obviously a very new team to the league. Their first-year coach, Jordan Bischel, they play with a unique energy, a big energy.
Raleigh Fingers and Rod Beck watching for Texas Tech.
Those are good pickups in the middle of the tournament, right?
That's it.
You better.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, you better not let them get a lead with that bullpen.
English, Ashby, and Cranford.
Did they get them from the past, like time portal stuff, or is that like retired versions?
Nobody defined portal, okay?
That's right. Who knew? That's next level. That's a lot of maintenance right there.
Ground ball over to short. Willits. High throw, and there is the 7th error committed by the Sooners today.
You know, what you're seeing with these Oklahoma infielders right now is watch that they're just not playing through anything. There's just extra steps, and we're thinking about there too many extra steps there. For me right now, if you're the Oklahoma infielders, catch it and unload it. It's just too much extra right now.
Lenny Ashby, 1 for 2 with a double. He's walked twice.
You know, the concern right now, Victor, is you start like right now, your whole team, ground ball in the infield, your whole team's holding their breath, including the other infielders. So it's, man.
Big 12 record, 9.
I mean, basically what that is telling you, Victor, is your pitcher's got to get 4 outs every inning, basically. That is not sustainable.
Here's the 1-1. Foul tip. Foul.
You know what's interesting, Victor, is I haven't seen Oklahoma in about 3 months, and I could not be more impressed with what I've seen as far as like how they've improved. The offense is even better than what I saw, and that's without Bryce Madron. Kyson Witherspoon, his stuff was awesome, with one exception. The catch play has been really poor, obviously, today. And that is more jarring than anything else. Every other part of their team, I love more than I thought I was going to like it. Dylan Crooks, for example, you know, like just he's throwing the ball great. That defense is spooky, though. Like, if I sound spook, it's because I am.
2-2 to Ashby. Full count. You wonder if the reason why Crooks goes with so many changeups is that fastball is fairly straight.
Yeah.
At 94. That is pulled foul. That one at 91 got turned around pretty quickly.
It's funny in a lot of ways. If you're a team like Oklahoma, you want to get through the conference tournament to get to the big dance. I think Skip Johnson, the staff, are dying for their next game because of the defense of things that they want to work through.
To clean it up.
Yeah.
Get that out of your mind, out of the system, flush it away.
Because the errors right now are just compounding each other. Like they're just, you can see the infielders are completely second guessing themselves right now.
English over at first, reaching on the air by Will. It's another 3-2. Ashby pulls one down the line. That'll go for extra bases. English is on his way to third. Ashby trying to get to second base as he is in there with a double. Second double of the game for Lenny Ashby. 10 on the season. KU has runners at second and third, but nobody out.
This starts to get really uncomfortable. You're now in a one-swing game. Now, the good news for Oklahoma is we're in a part of the order where that might not matter, but Ashby has had some really good at-bats in this game. The Panda.
Visit to the mound. Skip Johnson. Pitching change. We are in the ninth inning. Looked as if there was a pinch runner for Ashby. I want to say it was Sam Hunt. Pitching change here at Globe Life Field. 3-run lead for Oklahoma. Kansas threatening.
Good morning, everybody. We are here to discuss the
Making work make sense. LinkedIn knows how.
You proudly served us. Now it's our turn to serve you at BMW of Coconut Creek.
Got to close this one out. Sophomore. A couple of base runners on board. Trying to clean it up for Crooks.
Yeah, Malachi Witherspoon, similar to his brother, you know, power arm, fastball, averages 95.3 miles an hour, curveball around 79 miles per hour, and like you'd think a power reliever would be, it's many more strikeouts than innings pitched, and the walks are on the higher side.
There's his brother, Kyson, who got the start today. There's his pitching line, 4 runs, all unearned. 6 strikeouts, 6 walks on 107 pitches.
Wouldn't it be something if OU just starts for the last 3 outs starts playing great defense for Malachi and not Kyson? Think that might cause some problems?
Yeah, I think so.
I see how you are.
Absolutely. Clean living as a bullpen guy. Sam Hunt is the pinch runner. Fresh off tour. Taking over for Lenny Ashby. This one lifted out to right field. Should bring home a run. Jason Walk moving over toward the foul line. The throw is coming to the plate. It gets cut off, a sac fly. And the Jayhawks are down 2 at 7-5. 1 out here in the ninth.
always tricky, these types of situations. I mean, Cranford's not a guy that's going to hit a ton of home runs. You got a new reliever in the game. Sometimes I think taking a strike until the tying run is in scoring position is the way to go. But at the same time, you're one run closer, and it's still a one-swing game.
I'm a little surprised the pinch runner at second base is not standing at third, considering where that ball was hit. Shot toward short. Willis has it, 2 down. That ball was smoked off the bat of the freshman Ty Wisdom. 2 down. So Jayhawks down to the last out.
Yeah, Malachi's basically telling Kyson, you're doing it wrong, dude. Ground balls, not the game. Give up rockets.
Ground balls are overrated. 2 outs and a man at second. Chase Diggins at the plate. Diggins today 0 for 4.
Well, that's a good pitch. 97.
And painted.
Yep.
Oh, 1. Butler still working behind the dish. It's 1-1. Kansas, although they only have 4 hits, helped out by the 7 errors committed by Oklahoma. Have had a ton of base runners on board. They just have not been able to cash them in. It's golden opportunity back in the 4th inning. Gets Malachi's brother. 1 out, bases loaded. Kyson ended up striking out the next 2. That's a hit by pitch. Kind of on the right elbow, it looked like. The tying run now on board.
This is taking the expression, take one for the team, to a new level. That's 97 miles an hour. That does not feel good. You're looking at the next hitter like, dude, you better have something in your bag, because I just absolutely, I'm going to be thinking about that for a week.
That's that type of pitch, too, where you think it's cleared your body, and all of a sudden it gets you on the, that spot right there, or the knee.
Yep, no fun.
No bueno.
Double ties the game, though.
1 ball, no strikes. Kaczewski 1 for 3 with a walk and a single. Hunt, the base runner at second. Diggins over at first. 7-5 Oklahoma. 2 outs here in the 9th. 1-1. This one out toward left field. Pettis is there, squeezes it, and Oklahoma picks up the victory by the final of 7-5. The old brotherly hug. Oklahoma overcomes 7 errors committed on the defensive side to pick up the victory today. KU will end up playing first thing tomorrow morning